Hello, stars. Okay, so welcome to episode 2 of Mirror Talk. So, this question, I'm so excited about this question. First of all, thank you guys for actually participating and going on my website and sending me video requests. Okay, this could be about anything. So, this question comes from Marilyn. Okay, and she asked me how can she improve her relationship? Okay, so I don't know who that is. Okay, so first of all, Marilyn, thank you for asking that question. So I don't know anything about your situation, Marilyn, but or anybody's situation who may have a similar question about how can you improve your relationship. So I have been in my relationship I have been in my current relationship since I was 19 years old. Okay, so high school sweethearts, if you will. Okay, and so my love story is completely different from obviously all of you guys who are watching, so I can't really compare or anything like that. But what I can do is give you some tips and as well as encouragement if you are really wanting to be committed to this relationship. Like like I said, like if you are committed to your relationship and this is the relationship that you want, okay, I would, first of all, disclaimer, I am not perfect. I know. Okay, I'm not perfect. Okay, my relationship is not perfect. Calm down. I know. It's okay. Okay, so I just want to say that, like, my relationship is not perfect, but it is going great, okay? And we have had our extreme downfalls, arguments, all that other good stuff. But currently, right now, my relationship, we have been through so much, okay? Because like I said, we've been together since I was 19. Okay, so think about that. Like, since I was 19, think about the mature level of a 19-year-old. Mind you, I have always been mature for my age, but still. And he is older than I am, so you have to take into consideration of that age difference as well. So we are 7 years apart. And you have to think about that age gap and that maturity level. So we have had to pretty much like teach each other different things, okay? And we have had, so many conflicts because of, the experience level. His experience to life is more, extended than mine's was, and than mine's will ever be. He has more experience, living than I have, more life experience than I have. And, so we both really have taught each other things. And it was not easy. It was very hard, especially because we had kids pretty much like back to back. I said, like, when you have kids, your responsibilities and your priorities pretty much shift to meet the needs of your children. And this is even if you are a single parent, your needs shift to your children's needs. So you're not really paying too much attention to your spouse, to your partner, because your focus is on your kids. And being that we had kids back to back, there were, so we pretty much took our attention off of each other, and our sole purpose was the needs of our children, which isn't a bad thing, but we had to figure out how to have that balance, okay? And because without that balance, like, the relationship is really not a relationship. It's just a partnership. Like, it's just co-parenting at that point. And so, like, we had so many like disagreements because just what I want and what I need, and the same thing on his part. And the relationship kind of seemed so one-sided at one point. And, you know, what we did different, we started to communicate. So that is my tip number 1. Communicate your needs. Communicate thoroughly. Mean what you say. Don't say one thing but you really mean another. It is very important that you guys figure out a way to communicate and properly communicate. Don't just hear and wait for the trigger word for you to respond. No, actually listen. Actually figure out a way for you guys to communicate, whether that's having a circle of safety, whether, whether you go out and come to each other, and in this circle of safety, you figure out your own rules. But this is just an example. Come up with a circle of safety, or come up with like family meetings where you guys have specific days of the week where you guys just really vent out what the problems is. And don't just vent out the problems and leave it at that. No, vent out the problems and together work out a solution. Okay, that's communication. Okay, and so that is, yes, definitely like tip number 1. Tip number 2, which could have been tip number 1 as well, but tip number 2 is to develop. And this is before, after, during, and daily. Okay, self-love. Okay, you have to have self-love. You have to complete yourself. Okay, because a lot of the times we get into these relationships thinking that this person is our other half. This person is coming into our life to complete us, which lets us know that we are not whole without this individual or without this relationship. And that creates conflict within yourself. It creates codependency. It creates different forms of things that will not help your relationship. It creates an unhealthy relationship. Yeah, there you go. So tip number 2 would be to take care of yourself, listen to your own needs, complete yourself, get into this state where you complete yourself. Okay, so in this relationship, you don't want to have to lose yourself and lose your integrity, okay, in this relationship. Because if you feel like you are losing your integrity, or you feel like your life isn't going anywhere because your sole focus is on this relationship, then that should let you know that you need to do more self-love, self-care, okay, because you want to have yourself complete. Before, or from our situation, we weren't complete. Okay, we were you completing me. Okay, we had that you complete me. Okay, now we do still balance each other out, because he is masculine and I am feminine, not just our gender but just in our energies. I'm more in my feminine energy, and I'm learning how to develop more. And with, like I said, like he has helped me definitely step into my masculine to balance it out, and I have helped him tap into his feminine energy, okay, to have that balance. So that's where we are now. Okay, so yeah, like I said, like we didn't have that. We were on that, like, yes, you complete me, and that, type of behavior led to codependent behavior, okay, and that was unhealthy for us. And so we had to retrail it back, and we had to, like, that's where we're at right now. So right now we are at this place where we come to understand that marriage is not a job. It's not an marriage is not a job. It's not our obligation to fix anything. When you are in a marriage or a relationship, your sole focus should be on operating out of love. Everything you do should be out of love for yourself, out of love for your relationship, out of love for your family, okay, that you have created. That should be your sole focus, and that should be your drive, and that should be what you are working toward. That should be your main goal. So my tip number 2 would definitely be to have that self-love, develop that self-love, so that you can have that completion within yourself, so that you can share all of yourself with someone, okay? That way they're not reflecting your shadow, a part of yourself that you have neglected, okay? So remember that, okay? So moving on to tip number 3 would be to have fun. Yeah, this could be having fun, like board games, having fun playing video games, going out and having fun, being able to have fun and be yourself and express yourself in the relationship is very, very important. Because if you feel like you can't, if you feel like you have to hide a part of yourself in your relationship, then you should know that that relationship either needs help or this relationship is not for you. Like I said, I'm not someone who can tell you what relationship is for you. I can tell you how I improved my relationship, and hopefully these tips can help you as well. But it's very important for us to understand whether we are in relationships that are not for us. Okay, always improve yourself, but the more you develop self-love, self-confidence, self-awareness, you will know whether this relationship is for you or is not for you. Okay, so my relationship has been through many tests. Okay, many tests. Okay, we have had moments where we was, just, this is it, this is done. Okay, and I know it's hard to believe, right? Because we've had those moments, though. I feel like everybody has had those moments, and I feel like in those moments that we've had those moments, lots of moments here, right? Okay, I feel like in those times when we've had those moments, though, it's because we weren't secure in ourselves. Okay, and once we found that security within ourselves, we know we're secure again, so we're secure in ourselves. So we was able to come to the understanding, like, you are who I want to be with, and vice versa. And so when you come to that understanding, you also have to come to a solution. You have to come to an agreement with yourself and with your partner. Okay, if this is going to work, you have to realize that you guys are a team. It's not you against your partner, against the world. No, it's you guys together. Okay, you guys have become a clan. You guys need to work together. Okay, so yeah, like I said, number 3 would be to have fun. Be expressive in your relationship. And that is very, very important, to express yourself to the fullest in your relationship, because when you get into these relationships, it's supposed to be about, gaining more security with another person, okay? Enjoying another soul companion. That's what marriage, that's what relationships, that's what friendships is all about. Developing this bond to where you guys can express yourself and communicate and just grow with each other, okay? Like trees being side by side, growing with each other. That's what it's about. And if the relationship doesn't work out, okay, it's not about holding a grudge. It's about understanding that relationship wasn't for you, but it was meant to teach you something, okay? And it's not meant for you to hold grudges. It's not meant for you to try to get revenge or try to get back at them. That relationship wasn't for you. And sometimes what does happen is the relationship ends, the two individuals grow in themselves, and then sometimes they meet back up, and the relationship is a lot healthier, and it's thriving, and they're, living that happily ever after. Okay, so it's also important to allow that space and allow room for each individual to grow. Okay, so that's also important. So, do I have a tip number 4? A tip number 4, yes, a tip number 4 would be to do things together. Like when I say do things together, I mean get engaged in what the other person is doing. Right? Why not? Like, support each other. Okay, get engaged in what the other person is doing. That doesn't mean like try to, if you don't like football, try to force yourself to like football. No, I mean just like, if this person likes football, like play two-hand toucher. That's really exciting, really, like playing two-hand touch football. You get to grab on each other, you get to hug on each other, and that leads to you rekindling the flame, okay? Because Sean likes sparring. I don't mind sparring. I'm competitive by nature, in a good way. If I had to grow to be competitive in a good way, because at first I was just like, stop doing that. You're being a little bit too great. Okay, but now I'm like, I appreciate his greatness, and he appreciates my greatness, and I appreciate my own greatness, and vice versa for him. And we have just literally like grown with each other. Okay, we have literally like seen each other's absolute worst behavior and worse everything, and we came to the decision, like, I can take that, like, you're willing to improve yourself and accept that and acknowledge that, so we can grow and get ahead, then okay, we can do that, we can make this work. And if that is also what you are going through, Marilyn, then I would suggest definitely have these tips. But yes, so number 4 would be to get engaged in what they like, okay? Because that will also help you rekindle that flame, rekindle that friendship, okay? Because number 4 is like all about redeveloping that friendship, always having that friendship alive, okay? Because when you don't have that friendship in relationships, I feel like then your marriage or your relationship becomes a job. It becomes something that you try so hard to make perfect. But when you have that friendship open, the communication is great, the fun is open and exciting. So yes, definitely find that friendship as my tip number 4. Get engaged in what they like. Number 5, so number 5 is to tell each other genuinely that you guys would be to show affection, okay? And it's also with number 5, showing each other affection and love, it's also important that you know and understand how your person at the time, even while they're evolving and while they're growing into themselves, it's important that you know how they show you love. I do have a reading on that, so you could look at that, but also just pay attention into your real life, how they show you love, the things that they're doing consistent, because, okay, so Sean is a Capricorn. Well, he's a Leo, but his moon is in Capricorn. And when your moon sign is how you express yourself. So I'm a Capricorn. My sun sign is a Capricorn, but I'm a Libra moon. So with that being said, I'm very romantic. I like romantic stuff, okay? And he is an earth sign, okay? So he's very reserved and grounded. So he shows his affection to me. It's funny because every time I think about how he shows me affection, I think of a cat. Okay, my cat Tink would kill like little mice and bring it to the door and dart off and wait till I find it, and he peeking around the corner and and to an extent that makes me think of how Sean shows his affection. Like he's very masculine, so he shows me affection without the lovey-dovey, because I'm lovey-dovey, and he's like so opposite with that. He shows it like, for example, oh look, a cardinal bird. So he shows his affection to me by, like, for example, doing the dishes, something that I don't like doing, something that he doesn't love doing, but he does it because he knows that makes me happy. And that is just an example of one way how he shows his love. So it's very important, number 5, is to show love, but also be mindful of how your person shows their affection. So those are my 5 tips, and Marilyn, and thank you for that question, and I hope that it gave you some insight, as well as whoever else is watching, on how you can improve your relationship. So like I said, I'm not perfect, but my relationship is great right now, and it has been through hell and back, and now we are at a place of peace. So I hope that helped you, and until next time, thank you guys.